What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we're going to capture an amp with the Neural Quad Cortex. Let's do it! Alright guys, hope you're doing great out there today. This is just going to be a quick little run through of how the amp capture function works on the Neural Quad Cortex. You will only need a few things in order to be able to do this. Number one, you need a quad cortex. Number two, you need an amp. Number three, you either need a load box, such as this, 2 notes captor, or you will need a cab and a microphone. Today, we're going to be doing the capture function through the 2 notes load box. 4, you will need something to monitor through, either a pair of headphones that plug directly into the quad cortex, or you can send an XLR or 1/4-inch cable out from the quad cortex into a studio monitor or an interface or whatever you want in order to monitor the process. You will need this because you're going to want to make sure that the amp sounds how you want it to sound when it's being captured, because it captures it the way that you have it set up. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the unit. Okay, so we're basically on the main screen now. We're going to go over here to the 3 dots in the upper right hand corner. New neural capture, and it literally walks you through the entire process step by step, okay? So it's going to tell you, for best results, please disconnect any devices from send 1, send 2, and return 2. First step is going to be connect your instrument to return 1, which I have here. My guitar is plugged directly into return 1 on the quad cortex. Hit the next button. Okay, connect your headphones and or use your XLR outputs for monitoring. I have an XLR cable coming out, going directly into my audio interface that I'm recording my voice on as well. And that is going into Reaper, where I actually have a cab IR set up so we can kind of dial in how the amp sounds, and that way we're properly capturing it. Next step, you need a cable coming from the capture out to the input of your target device. So I've got the cable coming out here. It's going into the front of the Dover DA50, and we'll go to the next step. Okay, the next step here is to take your cable, whether it be your mic cable from your mic or the cable from the 2 notes captor, and put it into the input number 1 on the quad cortex as it shows here in the diagram. So we have done that. My captor's line out cable is going directly into input 1 on the quad cortex. It gives you a final diagram on the last screen before you get started in order to make sure that you have everything hooked up properly. I know that I do, so we're good to go, and we'll hit confirm. Okay, so it says, please verify your quad cortex is properly connected to the target device. Reduce levels if any of the meters detect clipping. This is going to be important. It's going to want you to be right at the level of clipping, but not surpassing it. So when you play, even with it hooked up in this way, it'll come out of your monitoring device. And you can actually reduce your instrument level and increase your input level just in case your amp is kind of quiet. The Dover is really not that loud of an amp, to be honest, so I'm going to pump the level up a little bit more. Okay, and we're still not quite at that volume threshold. I'm going to turn my instrument input level down a little bit because it seems to be clipping there. All right, so we're pretty much right at the threshold there, and I'm going to turn the in level up by 2 decibels. All right, so we're right under the level there. Let's do 1 more decibel. All right, so that should be good. I'm not super thrilled on that sound. Okay, so I've got a good, pretty standard V30 IR loaded up right now, because that is what I would play this amp through. So as you can tell, it's definitely a little thin, a little light on the gain. We're gonna turn the gain up. We're gonna bring the mids back. I'm gonna bring the treble back because this amp seems to thin out a little bit when you have the treble up. And we'll bring the presence up to compensate. All right, let's get a little bit more bass and depth and a little bit less mid, and I think we'll be good. We're not here to play guitar. All right, so I'm pretty happy with what I'm hearing out of the monitor through this particular IR at the moment. So I'm gonna stick with that, and we are going to start the capture. Okay, so now you probably won't be able to hear this, but it's gonna start pumping all sorts of weird tones through the capture in order to profile or capture the amp and try to get all the sonic signatures out of it. Okay, so it's finished pumping the alien transmissions through the 2 notes capture, and now we wait. Did I do the laundry? She's a good girl, loves her mama. I don't remember what the next chord is. Come on! Whoa, all right, we're done. So, when you are done, it gives you the option to compare your capture directly with the reference. So we're gonna do that. Here's our reference. All right, here is the Cortex. There's a little bit of difference there, but they are pretty close. I'm actually going to turn the level up just a tad. Let's hit a big chord. So the amp seems to be a little bit fuller than the capture. Okay, go back to the reference. Yeah, so the actual amp seems to be a little bit fuller, not quite as bright, and the capture, it's a little brighter, a little thinner, but you could probably tweak that in the EQ of the capture, which you can do once you're done, and get them to pretty much sound exactly the same. So we're gonna go ahead and save this. It's pretty crazy how close it is, and here it gives you the option to name it. We're gonna call it the KB Dover DA50 Thrash. Okay, KB Dover DA50 Thrash gives you the option to put tags on it. I'm not gonna do that right now. We're gonna save it and we're gonna exit. Okay, so we get out of there and you go into your neural captures, which I've already done a couple, and boom, over here it gives you the option of all of the neural captures you can play with. So we're going to check it out. I'm gonna turn my cab sim off and we're gonna go through the cab sim on the Quad Cortex. So all these tones, everything you're hearing is coming directly from the Quad Cortex.
I forgot that you have to change the instrument cable over to the input.
Okay, now let's hear how it sounds. All right.
So there is my Dover DA50. I can go in here. I can turn up or down the gain or the bass or the mid. So we're going to turn up the bass and we're going to turn up the treble.
right, so that sounds pretty close actually. Let's change the guitar cab, or actually let's just move the SM57 closer to the cap, give it a little bit more bite. All right, so that is our Dover DA50 capture. So the next step is to go into the menu, go to My Captures, and upload it. Long press it, copy to cloud, and now you guys can go online if you are Quad Cortex owners, and you can go to my profile, which is Thrash Damon. What else would I name it? And you guys can download that profile and use it and tell me what you think. Honestly, I thought it came out pretty good. I'm probably gonna tweak it a little bit more until I'm a little bit more happy with it. It could be the IR, but it sounds a little bit muffled compared to how we captured it. So obviously there's gonna be, some trial and error involved to get the best sound. But anyways, I think it's a super easy process. They walk you through it the entire time. It's really kind of foolproof. So I'm really looking forward to going through my amp collection and capturing a whole bunch of amps and sending them out into the world for you guys to check out. I don't see how they could make it any easier, to be completely honest. It's a painless process. I did 3 amps in like 25 minutes last night. It's really intuitive, and even if it's not, they literally walk you through it. So yeah, it's a pretty cool feature. It's basically the reason why I bought this thing in the first place, and you really don't need any outboard gear in order to do it if you don't already have a microphone or a load box. It's pretty simple. So I was a little nervous to do this the first time, and then I found out how easy it was. So I just wanted to make a quick video, show you guys that it's super easy to capture your amps. If you have amps that you want to profile, you've been hesitant to get the Quad Cortex, that is the process. It's super easy. Anybody can do it. So I hope that this was helpful. If you guys like this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button. Consider subscribing so you don't miss the next video. Take a look down in the description to check out all of my support links that help the channel grow, such as my Patreon. Would really love to have you guys as members of my Patreon, where we have a private group chat, talk about all the upcoming videos. I also have my Amazon affiliate links. I have the link to my Facebook Marketplace profile for all the gear I have for sale. So there's a lot of good stuff down there. Feel free to take a look at it. Anyways, Kyle here again. Thanks so much for stopping by, and we'll see you guys next time.